Dr. 9 TV.
Teruskan menyokong Dr. 9 TV.
Dr. 9 TV.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and welcome back to my channel. For this week lecture, we're going to discuss on tools in multimedia and web technology. So, before I go further, I want to explain a bit about this learning outcome for this week lecture. So, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to give example of multimedia and web technology tools. Number 2, to elaborate computer and its components. And number 3, explain the basis of web technology. And 4, explain the basis of internet and information in related field. When we talk about computer, there are a few types of computer. So a computer we can say as an electronic device for storing and processing data according to the instruction given to its variable program. Basically, it's a machine that can be instructed to carry out sequences of arithmetic or logical operation automatically. So, it's a machine. Basically, this machine will have an input, processing, process, and the output. So, there are three process that majorly. This computer, the function of the computer, they do three things. Basically, the computer they have several types. Okay, we have a supercomputer, mainframe, server, workstation, personal computer, microcomputer, and smartphone. Okay, if you can see here, so this is the example of supercomputer. So the supercomputer is the fastest and the most expensive computer. So the supercomputer can solve very complex science, calculation, engineering problem, and powered by parallel simultaneous processing power, and can manage more than 1 trillion calculation per second. So it's very powerful and very fast. And for example, this server supercomputer farm will be located in Kobe, Japan. It's the fastest supercomputer until 2020. So this is the latest fastest supercomputer. Okay, so this is basically the supercomputer. Okay, look like, and they have been in 40 set on the racks. So each rack they have 40 sets of server. If you see here, very complex, very big. So they need a few personnel that very expert and very skillful to manage this server. Okay. The second one is a mainframe computer. So mainframe computer also big and powerful and owned by large organization, industry, and banks, and designed to handle tremendous amount of input and output and storage, because they involve a lot of process, which is the whole organization, even though the parallel processing power. And the mainframe computer can handle large variety of tasks. It can run uninterrupted by decades without failure, often evolve in perform better. So they can manage and process a lot of data, and they can also manage to process and store a lot of data, even up to trillions data. Okay, if you can see here, this supercomputer and mainframe. Supercomputer and mainframe, what are the differences, what are the similarity between these two types of computer? So if you can see in terms of speed, you can see mainframe is very fast and supercomputer also fast. Okay, and normally the mainframe is owned by big industry and organization, and supercomputer normally handled by research lab, for example like NASA. Okay, laboratory, computer center, and research center, because they process a lot of mathematical equation and mathematical processing. So they want to use very super powerful computer. Okay, in terms of purpose, okay, for mainframe, they optimize to handle large amount of input and output, also the storage. And this mainframe also used in bank, insurance agency, and international company, right? And supercomputer normally they will involve with very complicated computational that take place large in memory, normally used in scientific research center, because in scientific research there will lot of processing of data, involve a trillion or more, even the lot of huge amount of data to process, like signal processing, and also the data that will be received from the satellite. Okay, and for operational part, there will be a large variety in the task, and for supercomputer there will be a very specific instructional task because they are specific for scientific purposes. Mainframe normally for industry, and supercomputer mainly focus to process the scientific data. And in terms of problem solving the problem, mainframe can solve input, output, and reliability, and the supercomputer will be focused more on calculation in speed. So you can see mainframe to involve a larger data, but in terms of the speed, okay, the speed, supercomputer will be more powerful. Okay. Okay, next, the category of a computer is a server. So basically, this is the server will be look like. Normally in one server room. This is the example of a Facebook server in Sweden. Okay. So basically, server which is provide data and service and program to another computer, which is client. So server is like a computer which provide data, service, program to another computer. So another computer that receive this service, we call it a client. So server is a machine that serve data, and other computer that receive data, we call it a client. Okay, that will be distributed throughout the network. Okay, a server is a connection between another computer, and some server are mainframe computer, and a server will respond to the client according to the client request. So when client request data from the server, so the server will transmit the data to the client. So there are three main type of server. There are file server, print server, and application server. Okay. Next types of computer, which is the workstation computer. Okay, so this you can see from the slide, this is a type of workstation computer. They will design for some purpose to develop or to deliver the task. So workstation computer basically a special computer built for scientific and specific application, and are often connected to the local area network, and can be high-end workstation at animation studio to a computer at the office or colleges. So there are a lot of workstation computer will be used in industry for specific purpose. For example, in animation industry, they use workstation computer to render the data, and also to do a modeling, and also to do animation and record all the voice over everything. They need a specific workstation computer that built for that particular purpose, so that they can understand the specification of the computer will be based on the requirement of this software and requirement of the task for the specific use. Okay. Okay, next type of a computer will be personal computer. So I think everybody have this at home, and you can bring away, I mean you can bring anywhere with this type of personal computer. You have a laptop, you know, and the desktop that we use at your house, and if you bring to the university, you use a notebook. Okay, so these are very common personal computer that everybody have. No, they use for many purpose. They do for chatting, they use for surfing internet, and use for social media and so on. So basically, the personal computer is a multi-purpose computer which is customized for user everyday use and work. okay, normally operated direct by the end user. So most of us are having this type of computer with us. So these are very popular device and tools that for us to create multimedia content, okay, to do communication, type email, and also prepare report and so on. So there are a lot of things can do with this personal computer. Even though you can do some other works like animation, videos, and so on. Because nowadays this personal computer have a very powerful processor, and also with large capacity of a hard disk, because now they are using this solid state, memory. So very fast, they can store a large number of data, and it's very powerful and easy for us to use. Okay, another category of computer also now become small and smaller. This is what we call now is a smartphone. Okay, I know everybody have this with own this device. So now we with enhancement of the technology, development of the technology, the computer now become more powerful, become smaller and smaller. Now they have another category of a computer, which is the smartphone. So if you can see here, the very types, the lot of smartphone, the lot of smartphone that's available in the market come with this iOS operating system, come with the Android operating system, and also come with a few types of operating system and brand. So there's a lot of computer in this category. Okay, after we discuss the type of computer, now we more on discuss about the component. Okay, what are the component of the computer itself? Basically, computer is consists of two component. Okay, basically computer have two component that maybe become the engine, or maybe without these two component, the computer can operate. Okay, basically the computer itself is only a hardware. So now we move into a more detailed discussion on what is a computer is all about. Okay, so basically computer must have a hardware and software. So without these two component of the item, okay, without these two things, hardware and software, computer is useless. Okay, don't have a meaning at all. Okay, basically a hardware is a physical part of the computer, and the software is the soft part of the computer. We can say that a software is a collection of data or computer instruction that tell the computer how to work. So they have a very close interaction between hardware and software. So before we go further, maybe we need to learn about the component of the hardware and what is a component of the software for specific computer, to build a computer. Okay, if you see from the slide, so this is basically a hardware. Okay, we have a tablet, we have camera, we have notepad, we have a screen, hard disk, and so on. This is considered as a hardware. Okay, something that you can touch and you can feel. So this is the hardware. Anything that you can touch and you can feel is a hardware for the computer. Okay, and then the software. What is the software? Okay, software basically they compose of instruction whereby they can operate the computer. For example, operating system. Operating system is one of the software. Okay, so in those days, without the operating system, that very user friendly, so we can't use the computer. Only the expert can use the computer, because we need to do a line of code there to use the computer. But nowadays, so with the improvement of the technology, a lot of software have been developed, so the individual or user are easily to use the computer. Okay, by right, in those days, we need to program. Okay, every single instruction that we want to program into the computer. So now they have a lot of hardware and a lot of software that already pre-programmed, so that we can use the program, we can use the computer very easy. Okay, so this is the software. There are a lot of software. For example, we have this Google, So this is part whereby the instruction will be compiled, and we can use this application to give instruction and to operate the computer. Okay, there are categories of hardware and software. Okay, for hardware, they have an input device, processing device, output device, and storage device. And for the software, we have application software, we have system software such as operating system, device driver, utilities, and we also have a malicious software. Okay, so this is something that we need to take care of this, because some of the malicious software is normally get from the internet, and it is a malware. So this malware can give harm. Okay, that means can give problem to the computer system. Okay, when we look into more specific about the software, about the hardware, sorry. So we want to see the input device. Okay, input device, processing device, output device, memory or storage device. Okay, so what is the main function of the input device? So input device is receive raw data and transfer into a process, so that we can use this as an input of instruction. Okay, for example, we have keyboard. A keyboard is an input device. Okay, game controller also an input device, and Bluetooth also a communication input device, and visual and imaging device also a input device, and network device also an input device. Because this input device, the main function of receiving raw data. So with this raw data, they can, the data that we receive through this input device will be transferred into a processing device. Okay, so processing device, actually we receive the raw data from input device. Okay, so when the data have been submit or transfer into a processing device, so the processing device will take in charge and process the data. Okay, for example here, a processor or microprocessor. So when you see or when you look into a computer, they have component, we call it a processor. So this processor, the hardware processor actually is a processing device, and normally we can call it a CPU. Okay, CPU, and they have a lot of manufacturer that produce this processor. So we can consider the processor is the main, the main CPU that operate all those instructions from the input device, output device, and also a memory device. So it's a brain. We call it is a brain for the computer. Okay, and then the architecture of the processing device, normally they have three component, logical component. For example, here we can see we have inside this processor. Okay, I show you later the processor. We have this control unit. Okay, and arithmetic unit, and logic unit, and also a register. So this is the three component or logical component that will be a component or element that inside the processing device. Okay, inside the processor. Okay, and hardware, the output device, which is the component which display and project information such as video, sound, picture, and so on. So first you receive input from input device, you process the input from the processor, and you display the data or process data through the display screen. Okay, screen or sound, video, or picture. So there are two categories of the hard copy of output, which is a printer, 3D printer, and also as a soft copy or soft category of output device, which is this monitor, sound, touchscreen, projector, network, USB input output device, optical, flash, and other external drive. So when we try to understand, okay, what is the hardware that be the component for the output, normally they have two, hard copy and soft copy. That are two main output device. Okay, so the device can produce these two types of output. Okay, printer can produce hard copy output, and 3D printer also can produce the hard copy output. And for the soft copy output, monitor can display, okay, the output, the result of the processing, and the touchscreen. So and also we can store the result of the processing from the output device into an external drive, and so on. And another thing that considered as a hardware is a memory or storage device. So this whereby we can retain and store data through a primary data called a random access memory or RAM, and which is work with the processor. And normally this there are a few type of RAM, you know, DRAM, ROM, and so on. And we have also the hardware whereby we store for external data, okay, to external storage, for example flash, external memory, hard disk, or CD. Okay, when look into the hardware, if you can see here, the input device we can falls under device which receive data. Okay, we have anything that hardware that can receive data, we falls under input device. Okay, for example here we have this screen, okay, keyboard, barcode scanner, you know, you can name it, camera, okay, mouse, touch screen, and so on, microphone. Okay, this is a type of input device. Okay, and when we talk about this processing device, for example motherboard, whereby we put all the processing device into one single board. Okay, there have a few type there. And CPU, okay, also processing device, GPU, and video card. So whereby they do all the processing part of the input data. Okay, and then output device can be a, you know, earphone, because we can listen from the input, then we can listen with the output. And also a printer. Remember, the printer is a hard copy of this output. Projector, okay, projector also is an output device, because we receive data from the hard disk from our computer, and we connect this input into a projector. Then we can display the projector through a screen. Okay, a speaker, screen, okay, a desktop screen, also a output device. Okay, when we talk about this memory device, if you can see from the slide, RAM is one of the example of memory device. Okay, random access memory. And ROM. Okay. Okay. And also internal hard drive. Okay. So I have a question here. Okay. I have a question. Can a hardware device category in more than one category? Okay, can an input device can be a output device? What do you think? Okay. So they have a few device that can be an output and also can be a input. Okay, for example here, you can see here the modem. Okay, modem is an output and input device whereby we can submit data and we can receive data. Okay, this is a modem. Okay, modem. Okay, modulator and demodulator. So we can have both data, input and output. Okay, download and upload. Okay, we use modem. Okay. Okay. A touchscreen is also an input and output device. For example, we have our okay, now we have our smartphone there. Okay, so smartphone. Okay, the touchscreen there. So this touchscreen, okay, consider a input and output device. Okay, and external hard disk can be also a storage and also an output device. Okay, input and output. For example, you can input data where we read data from the external hard drive, and if we store data into external hard drive, consider a output to store inside the external hard drive. Okay. Okay. Next, we move into some more details and more interesting part here. Okay, what is the hardware need in this course? Okay, what are the hardware that you need when you want to develop the multimedia content? Okay, a minimum you need to have a laptop or personal computer, because nowadays laptop also a very powerful machine that can render the data, can process a lot of data, because nowadays our laptop are very fast, very fast. And we need also a storage device. If we need a more device, more memory that will be to store our data or our videos and so on. And we need also a smartphone or tablet for us, easy for us to use and to record, you know, or record data or record videos and voice and so on. And we need a camera, okay, whereby the camera is a source of input to capture videos and pictures. And cloud service software, whereby we can process this video in very quick manners and a very interactive way. Okay, another important thing that you need to know about the computer is a software. Okay, so the category of software that normally will be need to understand is about three type of software. Okay, it's very important as commonly used or will be understand into computer. Okay, the first one is the application software. Okay, whereby this application software is a program or group of program designed for end user, also known as apps. You know, application software. Okay, so for example, like Office, you know, editing, multimedia editing tools, you know, word processing, and also a presentation software. Okay, video authoring tools and so on. And this is considered as application software. So another software that need to be very important when we want to use the computer. And without this software, the computer we can be run smoothly, and perhaps it cannot run at all. So this is, we call it a system software. So operating system is considered as a system software, whereby this software is a type of software that program the computer the entire computer processing between software and hardware that designed to run a computer hardware and application program. Okay, this like a mediator. Mediator, I mean like the central program. We call it the operating system program. Okay, now we have a Windows, Apple, Android, Linux, iOS, and we have a few more. Okay, and another system software that very useful now. I mean, is a driver. Okay, driver also a system software. Okay, so it can provide a programming interface to control and manage this specific low-level interface that is often linked to a specific type of hardware like printer, scanners, and other software and hardware. And utilities also considered as a system software, which is to help to analyze, to configure, to optimize, or to maintain this computer. Okay, so for mobile phone we have Android for system software, and for Apple we have this iOS, and for Windows computer, for Microsoft we have a Windows computer operating system, and Linux for for open source software. And other things that need to be understand in the concept of computer, which is the malicious software. So basically, malicious software is a program that causes harm to the computer system or network. Example include like viruses, trojan, rootkit, worm, spyware, adware, crimeware, and the ransomware. So this is a very critical to be understand, and try to manage this to be more important, so that we can make sure we can use a computer for effective way, and to improve our productivity using computer. Even though we have to design the application, we have to design the graphic software, we have to design the graphic arts, and also we have to design a multimedia application. Okay. Okay, next. For this course, I mean, when we want to develop or designing and develop this multimedia application, there are few types of software, specific software that we need, that will be more useful for us to design, to develop, to test, and to display our multimedia product, multimedia design. So we need Microsoft Office. Okay, so this is where we can write reports, we do some research and make presentation and so on. So we need this processing, word processing and presentation software, so that we can compile all our research and our information that we need. Okay, when in preparing the preliminary study on our project. And we also need the software editing, I mean the video editing software. Okay, whereby most of the window we have this window movie maker for Windows PC, and we have iMovie, iMovie by Mac, or Final Cut Pro OS. And also the recommended software that we need, application software for our project, okay, our multimedia videos project, also Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay, but then you can use any other software that we have, any other software that you think that can do some editing on the video, and can do some multimedia special effect. So any software that can edit the software or can edit the multimedia content, you can use. Okay, as long you can develop the multimedia product or content, or from any software that you are familiar is, you can use it and you can apply it. Okay, and you can use Filmora, you can use any others authoring tools to develop the multimedia content. And for the web builder tools, okay, you can use Wix. Wix, they have a cloud application, Squarespace, web.com, WordPress, etc. So this is a very useful cloud application that you can register and try to use the features, okay, the function. There's a lot of things that you can learn through this application. So they have a wonderful template that you can use and you can apply when designing your web. So this is very useful for you. Okay. And so when you want to buy a new computer, because now you are having maybe you need a new computer to work and to study and to develop the project and so on. So what are to consider in choosing the personal computer? What you need to consider? Okay, the first one is a size and form factor. Okay, maybe you need a bigger size of computer, or maybe you need a small. It depends on your need. Okay, and number 2 is a CPU. Okay, a CPU is a more core, more faster. Okay, we have a dual core, we have a quadrant core. So this is a CPU, the most powerful, the processor of the computer. And normally the CPU, you better you take the higher generation is better, because the technology are evolved. They keep develop the new technology in the processing power, so that the latest one will be the better one. Okay. And the clock speed also, you need to consider the fastest. Okay, try to get the more advanced when you buy a new personal computer, because the technology move very fast. So you need to get the fastest as you can. Okay, the third one is about the RAM. Okay, we need more RAM, because with a more RAM we can do more operation. Okay, for this computer. Okay, minimum will be 4 gig, and maybe you can get the higher gigabyte code. It is possible, and will be better. And even though you can go up to 32 gigabyte, okay, of RAM. Okay, if you manage to get more, it's better. Okay, number 4 is a graphic or video card. So this is another important component and specification when you choosing to buy a new personal computer. Okay, if you have your old computer, you can upgrade according to this specification. Okay, the bigger of the memory is a virtual RAM, and the better perform. So they can perform more when we have a bigger memory on this video card or graphic card, because they'll evolve. When we work on multimedia project, there is a lot of video and graphic card will be very important. Okay, the minimum will be 4 gig is recommended, and if you have more bigger capacity of this RAM for the video card and graphic card will be better. And number 5 is a screen. Try to find the high quality resolution of the screen, so that you can when you designing the multimedia product, you need a very sharp, okay, very clear display on the screen, so that you can design more quality of this software, okay, of the multimedia product. And if possible, try to get 11 inch and 15 inch. Okay, so we expecting this aspect ratio will be 16 to 9 is recommended. And in terms of storage, better to try to get at least 512 gigabit, or can go up to 1 terabyte is recommended. And it will be better if you can get the SSD is better, because they have a solid state drive. So this is very fast and very stable, and the capacity big. And battery life also you need to consider, okay, the good battery, because at least you want to use your computer within your study within 4 3 to 4 years. So better try to get the good one. And recommended will be the latest USB specification will be USB 3.0. And that's all on about the computer. What are the tools, what are the things that you need to be understand, and what the thing you need to know about the computer itself. So, and tools that required for the multimedia project and also for this web project. Okay.
Dr. 9 TV.
Teruskan menyokong Dr. 9 TV.
Dr. 9 TV.